In this video we're going to look at phrasing our melody, making sure that there are short singable sections within there that sound more tuneful than the fragmented melody we had earlier. And that sounded like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a melody that's 8 bars long, just like this, but feels like it's more linked to itself. We're going to think horizontally rather than the vertical way we were thinking earlier. We were linking up the chord with the melody. Now let's link the melody just to itself. So to help me do that, I'm going to highlight my whole melody, and I'm going to select my glue tool. I'm going to stick it together like that. And now that means that I've got the whole melody as one big region, and when I bring it up in the piano roll, it's all there. Right? I don't have to go looking for any of it, I don't have to click on anything to get to the next part. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit, not that much, and a little bit vertically to help me see the relationship between the notes. Right. And the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to give the phrase some symmetry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the 4th bar and the 8th bar. So I want my phrase to feel like it's ended, or at least come to some sort of conclusion in every 4th bar. So let's start by taking this note here and putting that on an E there and making it a dotted half note, and we'll drag and drop the same length of note and put it as an A at the end. So I've picked those two notes because an A is a tonic, and that should make it feel like it's very complete, and E is a dominant, so it should make it feel like it's going to need some resolution. And if we just check on the 4th bar in the chords, we can see we've got a G sharp, a B, and an E, which is an E major chord. So we know that my choice of an E in bar 4 is going to work. So let's have a quick listen to that. So I'm quite happy with the way that's worked. What I'm going to want to do now is to close up this gap here, because I feel that although the syncopation works very well this first time round, and again here, I feel that in this area it just seems too bitty. So I'm going to add in some 8th notes to help me. Some quarter notes. So I'm going to get rid of this 8th note here and turn that into a quarter note just by dragging it along. And I'll add another 8th note here. Now actually that won't fit, will it? Because it's a D major chord, so it will fit. And let's just throw that in for now and see how that sounds. Okay, that's not bad, but I still feel that it's quite bitty. I like the way it sort of started to run up. So let's bring this note here up to a C sharp, which would be the next note in the scale. That to a D. And let's bring the F sharp. Actually, let's bring that down to a D and bring all of these down. So what's that give us? That gives us A, B, C sharp, because that's in A major, D, and then let's go up to our F sharp there. Let's see how that sounds. Okay, it's not sounding bad, but I didn't like this note at all. So I'm going to move that to there. Let's see what happens now. Okay, I still don't like that, so I'm going to move that down to be a B. I'm going to move all of these up one. So C sharp, that's good, that's in the right scale. D sharp's no good, let's move it to D. And now an E. Right, let's see how that sounds. Okay, that's much better. I don't really like the fact that it starts on the C sharp in that bar, but I'll come back to that later and worry about it then. So let's start the symmetry on this side by adding in an extra quarter note here and turning that into a quarter note. And let's look at having a run going up and then down again. So let's have B, C sharp as a passing note, D, and then E. So we can already see some similarity between bar 3 and bar 7. They've got the same shape. So let's have a listen to that second half. So that's not too bad. Our whole melody sounds like this now. And I could also double the length of my composition very quickly. If I were to zoom out here, let's glue these together in the accompaniment. I'll loop around my piano part, including my bass, and I'm going to loop the melody but instantly turn it into a real copy. And I'm going to change this melody at the end of the second time through. So I've got the melody once and a second time, and I'm going to finish on A but an octave higher. I'm going to run all the way up to that note with this passage. So I want it to end on a G sharp. Now there is an F sharp in the key, so that should be okay. There's no F in it, so move that down to an E. No D sharps, move that down to a D. Let's hear how that half of the melody sounds now. So you can see I very quickly created a 16-bar melody using only a few notes at first and some simple ways of developing it. So that really is phrased melodies.